Welcome to Tales of Honor, a podcast with a mission to tell the true stories of every recipient of our nation's highest military award, the Medal of Honor. Hello everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Tales of Honor podcast. This is episode number 453, and I am feeling a little under the weather today, so I'm going to push through the struggle in my voice to get this done, but the show must go on. And before we get on to the story, I do want to point out a new feature over at the website. Full disclosure, every time I would do a birthday here on the podcast, I would go to a Wikipedia page, which listed all of the Medal of Honor recipients that are still living in one spot. It was very easy to sort them by their birthday, very easy to search, which I know they're listed in other places like the Medal of Honor Society and the National Medal of Honor Museum, but this Wikipedia page made it very easy for me. And that page got removed. There was apparently an internal discussion within Wikipedia saying that they did not have to be listed there since it was redundant. That's a whole nother rant for a whole nother day. But I took it upon myself this past week to put all the living recipients in one spot on my website so that I can just go to my own website and look them up there. So head on over to talesofhonorpodcast.com/living recipients. There's a hyphen in between there, living-recipients. And you can see all 67 living Medal of Honor recipients. And with that said, I don't have any birthdays to go over today. We don't have any until the 17th, so next week I'll have a couple to go over. So let's get right on into today's Tale of Honor. Vernon was born on the 17th of December, 1919, in Cheyenne, Wyoming, and at the age of 4, he and his 2 older sisters were orphaned when their parents were killed in a car accident. His father's parents raised the 3, and while his grandfather would become the most influential person in his life, Vernon struggled with his anger and fought with his grandmother. Because of this, he was sent to an orphanage in Nebraska for a few years, and after graduating from high school, he worked as a railroad porter until his grandfather, who had also worked for the railroad, died on Christmas of 1939. Vernon attempted to enlist in the U.S. Army since he was not happy with the jobs he was working, but was originally turned away until June of 1941 when he enlisted into the infantry. After basic training in Texas, he attended officer candidate school and was commissioned as a second lieutenant on the 11th of January, 1943. Vernon was assigned to the 1st Battalion of the segregated and recently reactivated 370th Infantry Regiment, 92nd Infantry Division, also known as the Buffalo Soldiers. His deployment to Europe would begin in Italy, where he would be wounded and hospitalized. Once recovered, he was in command of Company C, and his actions during an assault on a German stronghold, which had 3 previous assault failures, would earn him the Distinguished Service Cross and later the Medal of Honor. The citation reads, "For conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of his life above and beyond the call of duty, First Lieutenant Vernon J Baker distinguished himself by extraordinary heroism in action on 5 and 6 April 1945. At 0500 hours on 5 April 1945, Lieutenant Baker advanced at the head of his weapons platoon, along with Company C's 3 rifle platoons, toward their objective, Castle Ogonolfi, a German mountain strongpoint on the high ground just east of the coastal highway and about 2 miles from the 370th Infantry Regiment's line of departure. Moving more rapidly than the rest of the company, Lieutenant Baker and about 25 men reached the south side of a draw some 250 yards from the castle within 2 hours. In reconnoitering for a suitable position to set up a machine gun, Lieutenant Baker observed 2 cylindrical objects pointing out of a slit in a mount at the edge of a hill. Crawling up and under the opening, he stuck his M1 into the slit and emptied the clip, killing the observation post's 2 occupants. Moving to another position in the same area, Lieutenant Baker stumbled upon a well-camouflaged machine gun nest, the crew of which was eating breakfast. He shot and killed both enemy soldiers. After Captain John F. Runyon, Company C's commander, joined the group, a German soldier appeared from the draw and hurled a grenade which failed to explode. Lieutenant Baker shot the enemy soldier twice as he tried to flee. Lieutenant Baker then went down into the draw alone. There he blasted open the concealment entrance of another dugout with a hand grenade, shot 1 German soldier who emerged after the explosion, tossed another grenade into the dugout, and entered firing his submachine gun, killing 2 more Germans. As Lieutenant Baker climbed back out of the draw, enemy machine gun and mortar fire began to inflict heavy casualties among the group of 25 soldiers, killing or wounding about 2/3 of them. When expected reinforcements did not arrive, Captain Runyon ordered a withdrawal in 2 groups. Lieutenant Baker volunteered to cover the withdrawal of the first group, which consisted mostly of walking wounded, and to remain to assist in the evacuation of the more seriously wounded. During the second group's withdrawal, Lieutenant Baker, supported by covering fire from one of his platoon members, destroyed 2 machine gun positions previously bypassed during the assault with hand grenades. In all, Lieutenant Baker accounted for 9 enemy dead soldiers, elimination of 3 machine gun positions, an observation post, and a dugout. On the following night, Lieutenant Baker voluntarily led a battalion advance through enemy minefields and heavy fire toward the division objective. Lieutenant Baker's fighting spirit and daring leadership were an inspiration to his men and exemplify the highest traditions of the military service. After the war, Vernon remained in Italy for occupation duty, and when the Army became desegregated, he completed airborne training and went on to command a company in the Korean War. After 27 years of service, he retired from the Army and went to work for the American Red Cross for almost 20 years. He was married 4 times, having 3 children with his 3rd wife, and after her death, Vernon moved to northern Idaho. His grandfather had taught him how to hunt, and he enjoyed hunting elk in the area. The area is also where he met a German woman that was visiting the U.S., and the 2 were married. Early in the 1990s, a study was commissioned by the U.S. Army to review Medal of Honor recommendations of black soldiers that were denied based on their race. 10 were decided, Congress approved 7 for the award, and 6 had their Distinguished Service Crosses upgraded. On the 13th of January, 1997, Vernon received the Medal of Honor from President Clinton in a ceremony at the White House. Vernon was the only living recipient of the 7, and he went on to work with the National World War II Museum to create the Fighting on Two Fronts, the African American Experience in World War II Symposium. His stepdaughter, Alexandra, was initially denied a travel visa to attend the ceremony, but the family and Senator Dirk Kempthorne did all they could do, and she was granted a tourist visa. Vernon Joseph Baker died of brain cancer on the 13th of July, 2010, at the age of 90, and he is buried in Arlington National Cemetery, Section 59, Grave 4408. And that was a tale of honor. Thank you for listening to Tales of Honor, and if you enjoyed the show, please be sure to subscribe and tell your friends and family. Tales of Honor is written and produced by Christoph Ambrosch, and theme music is Loyalty and Duty by Floruz Music. If you have any questions, you can send an email to talesofhonorpodcast@gmail.com, and please be sure to visit talesofhonorpodcast.com for more episodes and information.